Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the Halal Times YouTube channel. Today we are excited to bring to you another important topic which is specifically related with creative workers like writers, editors, like we are, journalists, artists, translators, and of course programmers are also included in this list. What is your opinion? Of course, at the end of today's podcast, we would like to ask you one very simple question. Will AI, means artificial intelligence, make creative workers like the ones which I have mentioned just in the beginning? Will it make all these types of workers redundant? So, will you not need any writer, translator, artist, developer, programmer, journalist, or anybody like that when artificial intelligence is ready? Of course, it's already making a splash in the market, and millions of people, they've already subscribed to the chat GPT. And we often talk to the Muslim youngsters who are in the writing field, who are in the editing field, who are programmers, developers, and they do a lot of different things in the creative field. So today we just wanted to discuss this very important issue for the sake of those people who are into this field but are a kind of afraid as to what will happen to their jobs and whether they will be fully replaced within few short months or years or even decades. This is something important, and we got to understand this thing very clearly. And just in the beginning, I will like to tell you that there is no need to worry. You will still be able to maintain your job, inshallah, at least in the next 5 to 10 years. You don't need to worry about this issue until chat gpt or any other artificial intelligence tool becomes so pervasive, so intelligent that it gains more power than human beings. Until then, maybe you don't need to worry. But the only thing we would like to mention to you is that you got to be more efficient. You got to be able to use these technologies. Once you are able to use these technologies efficiently, independently, and more wisely, then of course you don't need to worry about your jobs. And of course you got to continue updating your knowledge about the technology, about the upcoming technologies, about various aspects of your trade, and inshallah you'll be safe at least in the short term period. So chat gpt has, as I mentioned, that it has some wondering if artificial intelligence will make human creativity obsolete. As you all know, and we have mentioned it again and again and again, that this OpenAI's chat gpt was released in November by OpenAI. The chatbot can quickly write readable prose in response to natural language prompts better than most people can. When one of my colleagues asked ChatGPT for 250 word summary of a philosophy of translation, it produced a text that would put many educated adults to shame, and it did so within seconds. That's amazing. Reactions to this view AI have ranged from panic to wonder. It is potentially competition for anyone who writes for a living, including journalists and lawyers as well, of course. Even visual artists are worried, given the dozen or so AI art generators that can already create virtually any image you can imagine on the face of the earth. To me, at least, it's a kind of mind boggling scenario. As an academic, as an editor, and as a writer, I witnessed a similar debate emerge surrounding the introduction in 2017 of DeepL, which was at that time, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, a groundbreaking form of neural machine translation. At the time, most people took one of the two views. One prevalent view was that the new technology would ultimately replace human translators, or the other divergent view was this new technology would be insufficient and barely affect the field. To my surprise, and to the surprise of a lot of other people in the industry, in the translation world, this new technology called DeepL ended up being something in the middle. So 5 years after the introduction of DeepL, Most human translators no longer actually translate, but neither have they been entirely replaced by machines. Instead, they use the technology to make translations easier and faster. The software generates a base translation, then the human translator post edits, fixing errors, and making the text sound natural. But the feedback the translation provides also becomes part of the recurring loop in the AI's continual self improvement. The technology is poised to take over the translation process completely, maybe in a few short years. In the same way, I could see image and text generating artificial intelligence tools having a similar impact. Just as translators now post edit instead of translate, it seems likely that many creative workers, including writers, journalists, lawyers, and the ones which I mentioned earlier, will post create instead of create. A machine will come up with an initial sketch of an idea, and then the artist or writer will tinker with it to make it better, to improve it. Some may have too much pride to rely on a machine, but it will be hard to resist the advantage the technology offers. For translators and artists alike, artificial intelligence basically reduces the cognitive load of creating. Imagine no longer straining to come up with a first draft. Work would flow much more easily and in a fast manner. AI creativity and human creativity already seem to be converging in music and in many other industries as well, of course. Though artists have sampled tracks for decades, they are now repurposing older tunes with machine like regularity. Some of the biggest hits of 2022 were based on melodic lines from the 1980s. That is surprising. For music fans, of course, we don't recommend playing music as far as our personal stance is concerned, but of course, that is the industry which is heavily impacted by the artificial intelligence technology. For music fans, the question may eventually be whether human beings or AI is better at such recombinations. On a recent podcast, Smashing Pumpkins founder Billy Corgan noted his pessimism. AI system will completely dominate music, at least from his point of view. The idea of an intuitive artist beating an AI system is going to be very, 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 very difficult. So, choosing to use AI raises some uncomfortable questions. Are translators really translators anymore? If an artist takes a first sketch from a computer, is he still genuinely an artist? And in the same way, are writers really writers anymore? The casting about for initial words or brush strokes, often the most difficult part of drafting, seems to be the heart of human creativity. If that is given to AI, the process seems more likely an assembly line production with human writers or artists of any type serving as mere inspectors, checking the end product and then giving it a stamp of approval. My god, that was a very challenging topic for me. And being a writer and editor, I'm also very afraid of this technology. But the lessons which we have learned for the past few weeks is that we got to be more efficient. We got to be able to make proper use of our time, whatever energy we are left with, we to benefit the Muslim Ummah, to benefit the Muslims communities all around the world. So, of course, our job as writers and editors, as newspaper publishers, is to be able to disseminate the kind of information which is necessary for the Muslim youth, which is necessary for the Muslim communities, wherever, no matter where they live, they are living in the world. So please do subscribe to our channel and support us in whatever way you can. And inshallah, we hope to be able to come up with another episode from the Halal Times very soon. So till then, Salam Alaikum.